we studied it. And Randy sent me basically all over the United States. And we soon realized is that we really truly have something special. This is real. Those coaches were right. And then I said, Randy, you're going to have to send me to Europe. We got to study those courses over there to really see and how we compare to their true Olympic world-class courses. And that's when we started developing the relationship with FISA and all the international sporting events. And now they're coming here. And it's just been an incredible ride. So what you see now today is a lot of work that's taken place already. We had I have a regatta. I have a venue. And here we are now today. If it wasn't for Sarasota County and their vision, now Manatee County, the city of Bradenton, Venice, Northport, now the state of Florida, this is what got us here. And going back to Bulgaria, sitting down with FISA, they said, are you ready? When you approved that $5 million. They knew that we had the proper support. So Governor, we made a commitment to be ready to host the World Rowing Championships by 2017, World Cup by 2016. We have a bid to host the World Masters in 2018, the World Coastals, the International Dragon Boats Breast Cancer Survivors, where we had 3,000 folks around the world that will come here in 2014. This is just the beginning. So next, I'd like to introduce a gentleman named Glenn Mary. He's a great partner, CEO of U.S. Rowing, and he is part of our partnership and shares our vision. Glenn?
Thank you and good morning. Those of you standing inside the tent, how many of you have pulled an oar before? How many rowers here? That's excellent. Congratulations. You guys have a unique project going on here, and you may not realize how unique it is. What you've done is something that's never been done in the United States. It's creating from scratch a world-class rowing venue that will attract the top competitions, the top athletes from around the world. U.S. Rowing represents about 1,200 clubs around the country, from high school rowers all the way through the masters that you see out on the course today. Our plan, in partnership with Sarasota Bradenton and this bid, is to make sure that this site receives the national attention it deserves, that we have athletes come down and doing training camps here, that we relocate our competitions to come down here, both regional and national, on a rotating basis. We see this as the future of our sport. We see this as an important partnership that will drive rowing to new heights. There are 250,000 people participating in rowing in the United States, and we think we can double that. And we think the starting point is the 2017 World Championships. I have a team of 87 athletes and 130 people who just left yesterday for Korea. At the end of the next 2 weeks, the FISA International Rowing Federation Congress will take place on September 2nd, and we will secure the vote to bring the championships here in 2017. I'd like to recognize that this is a really unique thing for the international community. They've never seen a public-private community partnership the way we do things in the United States. The support of your governor, we couldn't do this without that type of high-level political support for our sport in the United States. I'd also like to recognize the leadership and vision of Randy Benderson, who's been behind this project the entire time and has been nice enough to put Paul Blackheader behind it and making sure that the driving force is here. It was only 5 weeks ago that we were all in Lucerne, Switzerland at the World Cup, meeting with the FISA Executive Committee and showing them the video that you just saw, showing them our bid presentation, which was about, 300 pages worth of material. And it wasn't a question from them as to whether or not it should come to Florida. It was a question of some of the details like, well, at 1 a.m., what does the wind look like coming off of the Gulf of Mexico? Those are the good type of detailed questions to have. So everyone enjoy the regatta. Masters Nationals is one of our huge events for the year. It represents people from 27 to 85 that have been doing rowing most of their lives. Some of them are just being introduced to it. Some of them have been doing it since high school. These are the people, these are the sage advisors of our sport. If you want to know more about rowing, talk to the participants out here today. They're more than willing to talk hours with you about rowing. So thank you very much for putting this venue together. Thank you very much for putting this partnership together. And thank you very much, Governor, for supporting the vision of Randy Benderson and the Seneca Group in bringing the World Championships here in 2017.
Next, we'd like to have Sharon Hillstrom, Manatee or Bradenton area EDC. Please come up.
Bring that down a little bit. Good morning, Governor Scott. We're so happy to have you here, and good morning to all of you. It is my pleasure and honor to be here today to join in celebration of this amazing facility. What an accomplishment. Just 3 short years ago, the Bradenton area EDC, along with Manatee County government, identified sports performance as a targeted industry for business recruitment, retention, and expansion. Just about that same time, I got a call from Commissioner John Chappie, who's in the back of the room there, to come to a meeting to learn about this rowing facility that the Benderson Group planned to develop, or was looking to plan to develop next to the proposed mall site. So I have to admit to you, I knew nothing about rowing. But if any of you have ever heard Paul Blackketter give a presentation about rowing, you leave having an appreciation for the sport. And more importantly, I had an appreciation of the tremendous economic impact this would have for our bi-county region. So I was very excited about the project. Fast forward to today. To witness how this project has come together is nothing less than amazing. It's amazing to see what happens when a group of committed individuals come together, putting their differences aside for a common cause. In a word, it's called collaboration. Collaboration, and in this case, on numerous levels. The buy-in, I believe, was in the recognition that this project's tangible and intangible economic impact not only affected the bi-county region, but the state of Florida as well. Conservative estimates of the tangible economic impact, just around $24 million over a 2-week period of time. Pretty good. Then let's talk about the number of visitors that will be coming to our beautiful community. Just around 42,000. On top of that, we have about 130 million global viewers through various media outlets. That's amazing visibility for this area. The intangible impact is directly related to the attendees and the 130 global viewers that may have a perception of Florida as a place only to go on vacation and retire. We will have a captive audience, giving us the opportunity to showcase this community as a great business destination. A community where you can locate your business and enjoy a vibrant and active lifestyle. We are thrilled, so thrilled to see this project come to fruition. Thank you, Governor Scott, for your support. Thank you, Manatee and Sarasota counties, for your support. And to Randy Benderson and your team, thank you so much. We look forward, just a minute, we look forward to capitalizing on the momentum that this will spur great economic development opportunities for the bi-county region and the state of Florida. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to have Mark Huey with the Sarasota EDC. Mark.
Good morning. It's a great day when the state's chief economic development officer is in town. We appreciate all you're doing around the state to grow our economy, move us forward, and certainly having you be part of this celebration today is special. So welcome on behalf of the Sarasota County Economic Development Corporation, and many of our board members are here, and we actually changed our board meeting this morning so that they could be here in support of you and our celebration today. We're excited about this effort, this initiative. for really what Sharon was sharing in terms of those intangible benefits. And I know, Governor, you get that. Our story in Sarasota, I can share with you a little bit that when we look at our pipeline of economic development projects, we have 3 projects right now that are international companies. And they all share a common theme in how they have become active potential investments for our community. Something got the CEO of that company to come to our community. And in each case, it was different. And one of these companies is from the UK, one is from South Africa, and one is from China. Their CEO got here, and guess what happened? He fell in love with our community, bought a house in our community, and now thinking about moving part or all of their company to our community. And that is the bread and butter of the economic development engine of our community. And this is what you've been a part of, Governor, and everyone here is creating another reason for some CEO to come to our community and experience the great community that we all love, right? And so that's why we're excited as the Economic Development Corporation. You've heard we're national stage, global stage we're getting on, and we can compete on that stage, and we look forward to that opportunity. Secondly, I just wanted to share what's meaningful to me. Every time I drive through here, and I encourage you all to remember this every time you drive through this area. This was a borrow pit. Okay, this was a borrow pit just a few years ago. It's an amazing thing to think that through the leadership of the Vendors and Development team, county staff, the public leaders, all of those regionally who've come together to move this forward, that we have created an asset that includes the only mall under construction in the country, part of a beautiful mixed-use development that's coming, and then this beautiful site of the Nathan Benderson Park. So it just shows what our community is about, what creativity, what leadership, what determination we have to diversify and grow our economy. So we hope, Governor, that you're as proud of what's happening under your watch and your role in that here in this part of the state, as proud of that as we are. Thank you very much.
Governor, what you're going to soon see is that we're so much more than rowing, which is just simply the tip of the iceberg. Our programming will be full, robust, a lot of different programs in regards to corporate training, adaptive rowing. So now I'd like to introduce Major Kevin Kinney, and he's going to introduce a few other folks that's going to mean a lot to us, and talk a little bit about the future programming that's going to happen here at Nathan Benderson Park. Kevin?
Have to take center stage, don't you, Nick? Good morning, everybody. Governor, I know you've received a lot of thanks for your support for this facility and this project, but I'm going to give you another angle on that. On behalf of these veterans that are here with us today and through the rest of the week, and the many more to follow, thank you for your support of this development. Thank you very much. I have to chuckle because when you see coverage of this development, it's always about economic development and filling hotel beds, and I'm not knocking that whatsoever, but the true impact that this development is going to have is the adaptive sports side of it and what it means to these veterans. We're standing this morning 40 miles from the busiest hospital in the Veterans Administration system, James Haley, the Public Trauma Center. They deal with the worst of the worst, traumatic brain injuries. That's the course of warfare these days. the unfortunate side effect, or byproduct. There's 1.6 million veterans in the state of Florida. A full 10% of the deployed force are Floridians. We have literally thousands in the Sarasota area that will be able to take advantage of this facility and what it's going to have to offer for adaptive sports. Mr. Benderson it's nothing short of extraordinary what his vision is with this facility with respect to adaptive sports. And I submit to you, Governor, that that's what's going to put this development on the map. Economic development aside, that's what's going to make this place what it's going to be. And we're going to work hard for that. And I know you've showed your appreciation already, but last but not least, I ask all of you to rise and show your appreciation to not only these vets, but all the veterans here today.
Next, I'd like to introduce legend, a true world-class gentleman, our neighbor, a Hall of Famer, Dick Vitale.
Well, thank you, Paul. Governor, the veterans, I was so touched seeing them up here. Talk about courage, talk about courageousness, talk about being special and unique. The fabric of what our nation's all about. People serving our nation, giving everything they can to allow us to have the unbelievable things that have happened in our lives. I sit here today and I was thinking, reflecting as I'm sitting here, I don't know anything about rowing either, Sharon. You said you didn't know anything about rowing. Well, I don't know anything about rowing either. But I do know people. I've been around people that are winners in the game of life. And I knew that the first time I met the Benderson family, that this was a family that was more than just about building buildings and building shopping centers, but people that are generous and caring, extending a hand to help those in need. And you have to have a leader. And Randy Benderson, as I sat here, was thinking about what I can say. I reflected back memory-wise to my childhood, to a mother and father who were uneducated, had a 5th grade education, but had a doctorate of law, and taught my brother, sister, and I in this great country. If you have goals, and you chase your goals, and you pursue them in a positive way, a lot of beautiful things can happen in your life. Well, my mother taught me 2 things, but I try to share everywhere I go. 2 things that were vital in my life that reflect Randy Benderson, that reflect the Benderson family. I know how proud your dad must be up in heaven, jumping with joy to know that all are gathered here today with the governor, taking time to be with us, and so much a part of the success, Governor, the dollars that you allowed to be part of this, to make this happen along with the Benderson family. But I think, Randy, what I learned 2 things from my mom. She taught me, my dad taught me never ever to believe in can't. Don't allow can't to be part of your life. She used to say to me all the time. My buddy used to tell me when I was chasing that dream to be a college coach. We had won 2 state championships in high school, and I wanted to go to the next level. And I was getting so many rejections from every school that I would apply to. And I wasn't applying to Kentucky or Carolina or UCLA. I was trying to be realistic. I would apply to Lehigh and Lafayette and Bucknell. And I'd get all these rejections. I came home one day, I was so depressed, so down, as only a mom could see. She said, "Richie, why are you so down?" She never called me Dick. "Richie, why are you so down, Richie?" "I'm down, Mom, because my buddies are right. My buddies are right. They've all said, you're going nowhere, man. You're going to be here all your life with us. You're going to be here teaching the 6th grade, coaching in high school." And there was nothing wrong with that. I love teaching. I love coaching. I didn't like the paycheck, but I love teaching. And I love coaching. But the bottom line is I wanted that next challenge, the collegiate level. My mother sat me down and she said to me, "Richie, don't believe in what your friends are saying. You can be what you want to be. This is America, son. And you know what, son? You got something they're not going to hold back. You got spirit for life. You got enthusiasm. And you're going to make it someday. Man, I'd give anything for my mom and dad to live. And I know, Randy, you feel the same about your dad. To be living to see the things that have happened in my life. My God, just recently, I had an incredible honor. I was put into the National Sportscasters Hall of Fame to join the National Basketball Hall of Fame. And as I told that crowd, none of that would have happened without the love I had at home and the inspiration. Watch my dad work in a factory. But I learned at home, never to believe in can. That's Randy. Randy had a vision, he and his dad, about this. This just didn't happen by accident. It's people that don't believe in can. People that were visionary, that had that unbelievable drive and desire. Not just about money, but about people that had a plan. Hiring Paul to be part of it. Just listen as you can sit here, his passion about rowing. That's what life is about. Randy epitomizes what I believe in so much. A very simple formula for success. Passion, plus work ethic, plus good decision making in your personal life usually equates to winning in the game of life, a game you all play. And then, Randy, you're part of the second factor that my mom used to always say to my dad. Growing up as a kid, I must have heard it 10 times a day. Richie, be good to people, and people will be good to you. Well, I'm in 12 Hall of Fames. I can't run, I can't jump, I can't shoot, I got a body by Linguini, but I'm there because people have been so good to me. People have been fantastic. When I was just inducted into the Sportscasters Hall of Fame, my introducing partner, the guy that introduced me, was the chairman of the board and the president of ESPN, George Bodenheim. And one of the greatest compliments I've ever received in my life, I whispered to my wife when he delivered it. I said, you know, he talked about my career, but then he said something that was so meaningful to me, meant everything to me, and it epitomizes what Randy's about. My buddy Joe sitting here, Barbetta and Mary. I see John Saputo, Roy Dupuy, people that have been so vibrant in this community. But George told the crowd, he said, I don't know if many of you know this, but in 1981, when I was hired at ESPN, meeting George, he said I was assigned to be Dickie V's driver. And I would drive Dick around. And I'd take him and get him his hot dogs, his newspapers. And I want you to know something. Dick Vitale treated me like royalty when I was nobody. And he's treating me like royalty now that I've become somebody. And to me, that was the greatest compliment. Randy, that's what you and your family are about. Not about that I'm here and I'm in this level financially and I'm better than you. You're all about giving. When I call upon him to help me to help kids battling cancer for my gala, Randy's right there with a check. No problem, Dick. I will help. I close by simply saying this. We are blessed. My wife and I are married for 42 years. Lorraine, what I can simply say. Don't stand too long. I'm a story fan. My wife, 42 years, all the coaches, every time Coach K, Knight, and all the guys see her, John Thompson, they say sainthood. Any woman that can live with that guy for 42 years deserves sainthood. No, I deserve sainthood, man. It's been unbelievable, the greatest 42 years of my life. But we're so proud to live in this community. So proud. And I wish you all the luck in the world, Paul, Randy. I know the World Championship's going to be here, and we'll be right front and center, giving you all the support we can. In closing, Governor, you and I know we have something in common. And I know one thing that's not in common, our bank accounts. But that's okay. Well, you see, Governor, we see the same barber, baby. When he told me you're not giving him a tip, man, I'm going to lay the tip on him. Thank you so much for what you've done for our area, what you've done for these beautiful people. And Randy Gunderson, we need more like you. I close by saying this. Nothing dearer to my heart than extending a hand to help kids battling cancer. Mary, Keneally, and her people put on my event each year. It's been a special sellout. And yesterday really just brought my wife and I to tears. We got 2 text messages from 2 local youngsters, families. youngsters we got to know, I ask you and I beg you from the bottom of my heart, if tonight, when you lay your head down, to say a little prayer for little Eddie, who's 5 years of age, who for 2 years, a local youngster whose dad works at the Lakewood Ranch Hospital, is battling cancer in a severe fashion, probably as bad as it gets. And then a little girl named Ashley, who you met, Governor. Ashley was your rep who took you around this area from Sarasota Military Academy. Straight A student. She's been battling and battling and battling a form of cancer and is now at Old Children's Hospital. As a mom just sent us a text that really, I pray and hope, a dream, a miracle can help those youngsters. There's no child should be doing chemo, radiation. They should be out playing, should be out here having a ball. God bless, may your event be super, and I can't wait to hear the official news that the World Championships are coming to the #1 facility in the world. God bless, thank you.
Before I introduce the governor, I'd like to have all the speakers come up to include our veterans, and so we can take a quick photo op, please. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce our biggest partner, the governor of the state of Florida. And quick story is, as I mentioned before, when we were in Bulgaria, Matt Smith, the CEO of FISA, said, "I understand that your governor supports you now. Are you ready to host our World Rowing Championships?" So we blame this on you, Governor. Thank you very much for your partnership, and we hope you're with us to the end. Thank you.
First of all, I want to just talk a little bit about the military for a second. We have to be very thankful that there's individuals like the men and women that were up here that are willing to defend our freedom. If they didn't do that, I had the opportunity to be in the United States Navy, but nobody ever shot at me. My dad was in the 82nd Airborne. He did all the combat jumps. Very few of his friends came back alive. Every month, we're still losing veterans. We're still losing active soldiers. In the month of July, I called 2 families that lost their loved ones in Afghanistan. So we're still at war. And so the first thing we ought to do every day is be thankful. There is somebody willing to defend our freedom, that we even have the chance to think about doing something like this. And if it wasn't for those individuals, we wouldn't have the opportunity to do something like this today. So I'd like all of us, again, to just stand up and thank every veteran for what they're doing, especially veterans. It's always tough when you meet a Gold Star family and you have to say you have no idea how their lives have been changed, but their lives have clearly been changed. Dick, thanks for your passion. You do have a great haircut. If you think about what Dick talked about, you're right. It's the passion of individuals in Sarasota, the passion of individuals in Manatee. It's taken a leadership team like the Benderson family to make something like this happen. These things don't happen by themselves. It doesn't happen because of one person. One person might start it, but it's a whole team. And this community, the Sarasota community, the Manatee community, has been outstanding to make this happen. Now, you've elected great people in this community that make these things happen. As governor, I get the opportunity to do things like this, but you have great individuals that make these things happen. First, somebody that's been here for a long time, Senator Pat Neal, has been a good friend since the time I got into the race. He gives me plenty of good advice. I'm hoping he sells a lot of homes because more people move here. So first, Senator Pat Neal. Then I get to work with Senator Dieter. Where's she sitting? She does a great job. And Senator Galvano, we get to work together every day. He does a great job. Somebody that you know is always quiet and shy and never gives advice is Mike Bennett. I've been doing this job now for a little over 2.5 years, and there's individuals that show up, and all three of those individuals and a lot of other individuals in this community show up to make things happen. And this wouldn't happen but for their support. Now, let me talk a little bit about why this is important. I came into this office, we had lost 832,000 jobs in 4 years. Think about that for a second. This is a state that had no income tax, right to work state, low business tax, gateway of Latin America. People want to come visit here. They want to live here. The expansion of the Panama Canal, and we lost 832,000 jobs. It made no sense. So we've done what you would do in your community. Cut regulation, cut taxes. Said we want business. What is an area we should clearly prosper? And that's tourism. We should be absolutely the #1 tourist destination in the world. It's not going to happen if we don't invest and make things like this happen. So we've had a dramatic increase in tourism in the last 2.5 years. Last year, 91 million people came to our state. And what you heard is, what does that do for us? When somebody comes to our state, they buy a house. They come back, they fill up our restaurants, fill up our hotels. They say, you know what? I'd like my business to be down here. It happens all the time. We just, 2 months ago, I guess it was, we announced Hertz moving to Lee County. Why did that happen? The CEO lives in Naples. They love it. People love being here. They like the people. I mean, all the other things are good, the taxes and all that, but you know what? Florida is full of wonderful people. We're at a 42-year low in our crime rate. This is an outstanding place to visit and live. I got in last night, I went down to Sarasota Square and walked around. And one guy came up to me, he says, he'd been in the police in Philadelphia. He says, I live here because I can walk around. I feel safe. I mean, I like the weather and all that stuff. This is a great place to live. But it's a greater place because we have the Bendersons. So if Randy and Lori, your whole family will come up for a second. Here's what I think, and Dick said this a little bit. Why do these things happen? Why does something like this happen? It's because somebody has a dream, but somebody has had some success, and they say, I'm going to give back. I'm going to make something big happen. Whether it's someplace I live or whether it's someplace I want to have an impact. The Benderson family has done that here. So first I want to give you the Governor's Business Ambassador Award. I guess this goes to your whole family and your parents. But this is for individuals that have had a dramatic impact on growing jobs in our state. This will be a job creator. It'll be a job creator a lot of different ways. We'll have all the individuals that come here to see what a great venue. But then because of that, they'll buy houses, they'll fill up our restaurants or hotels, and then move their businesses. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you're doing for people today. So we all know that we're going to win. We all know that we're going to get all these championships here. But the truth is, we've already won. We've already won because this got started. The Benderson family moved here. They've changed this community. They've changed this state. But this is going to be so exciting. Was it September 2nd, Andy, when you get to announce? September 2nd, it'll be a great day for this community, for this state, but it's the first of many things. So congratulations to everybody here, and it's been a real honor to be here today.
This concludes our presentation, and we hope that you guys stick around and watch some incredible great racing. And thank you very much. And once again, thank you for the partnership. Thank you.
great to be here. This is a great day for the state of Florida, but also for the Sarasota and Manatee communities, the county communities. I want to thank the Bradenton family for their commitment to making this happen. I want to thank everybody here, including your senators, Dietert, Bennett, and Galvano, your state reps. Made sure this was in the budget. But this is going to help tourism. It helps jobs. As you know, I have my second grandson, who's a little over 2 weeks old. I look forward to bringing both of them here. Hopefully they'll be rowers. It's always great to be out on the water. I've gotten to do this a little bit, but never in a competitive manner. But it's a great day. It's great for our state. As you know, tourism is up. 91 million tourists last year. This is going to help that. Tomorrow we find out how we're doing from a job standpoint. As you know, we're below the national average. We've generated the private sector over 330,000 jobs. Hopefully tomorrow will also be good numbers. So I'll be glad to answer any questions. The reason I believe this is a good project, the reason I supported it in the budget, was because it explained to me the economic impact. First, the tourism impact, but here's what you learn in this job. The more we have tourists in our state, 91 million last year, they're going to come and buy houses. They're going to, go to our restaurants. They're going to go to our hotels. They're going to move their businesses here. You look at the stories. The stories when people move their companies here, it starts with coming to visit here. This is going to be a chance for us to highlight our state. It's going to create a lot of jobs, just the tourism. It's going to help highlight our state.
What changed your mind other than that?
It made sense. The project made sense. They showed me the economics of it, and it just makes a lot of sense that we're going to get all those tourists here, and I'm very comfortable that on top of getting all those tourists here, they're going to spend money, and some of them are going to move their business here and buy some homes here.
Are you going to put any more public money toward this project?
Well, I'll always look at every project. We've done over 350 transactions that I've been governed through Enterprise Florida. It's a public where we can get a return on taxpayer money. What I focus is making sure that we get a return. As long as we can get a return for taxpayers, I'm interested in these projects. I want to grow the state. And let's think about where we are. 91 million people came to our state as tourists last year. 333,000 private sector jobs have been created in 2.5 years. So we're heading in the right direction. It's our tourism, it's our ports, our housing's coming back. People moving their companies here. It's exciting.
So, some taxpayers may not like the idea of the state supporting sports venues like rowing facilities and baseball stadiums, but you've been supportive of both. Why is supporting the spring training facilities and rowing facilities? Why is that in line with keeping down, watching for taxpayers' money?
Well, as you know, I ran on a campaign of holding government accountable. I wanted to get our state back to work. And so what I look at is there a return? Will there be a return for the taxpayers of the state? And so I say, if we're going to put up X dollars, $100,000, whatever we're going to put up for something, will the taxpayers get the money back? And if they do, I'm going to be supportive because I want more jobs in the state. I think about my children, my grandchildren. They want to live in our state. They want to get jobs here. And the way we're going to do it is do things like this.